and then we will be ready to go. Okay.
Thank you very much, Owen. Thank you. Can everybody hear me okay? Am I clear? I'm currently living in rural Ireland at the moment, so apologies if I break up a little bit with the Wi-Fi, but brilliant, fantastic. So I'm just going to share my screen now, if that's okay with everybody. So hello, thank you very much, Owen, for introducing me. Yes, my name is Sophie and I own It's Digital. And I'm going to be talking to you tonight about the rise of video content on Instagram and how to use that effectively for your business in 2021. And I just want to say thank you to Owen specifically for allowing this to happen, for creating this space for everybody to come together. It is fantastic how many people have turned up. And I really hope we have a great night. And I know it's 7 o'clock, everybody's had a long day of work, I'm sure, but we'll get through this and we'll enjoy ourselves. And just a little bit of housekeeping, if you do end up unmuting yourself, please make sure that you are on mute, just for the sake of this video, because I will be chatting through a few things. Great start, Sophie. But yes, so first of all, let's get the group chat, let's get the chat going. I want to get some feedback from you guys. First of all, I want to make sure that you can use the chat box okay, because I know some people don't use Zoom. So if you are on Zoom, at the bottom there should be a little chat box. Looks like a little speech bubble. If you click on that, just enter a message and tell me tonight what you are drinking. So I'm currently drinking water because I know if I end up drinking tea or coffee, I'll end up burping quite a lot. So just tell me what you're drinking, just to get the conversation flowing. So I want to make sure everybody knows how to use the chat box, okay? Brilliant. Black coffee, yep. Hot chocolate, sounds good. Cup of tea, fantastic. So yeah, just to make sure everybody knows how to use that. I'll probably be drinking a good cup of tea or maybe a gin, who knows, tonight after this, but fantastic. So yes, we're going to be talking about video content, and just a little preview about this session. We're going to be talking about the understanding the importance of video content in 2021. We'll also be talking about the differences between short form versus long form content. And we'll be going through each type of video content on Instagram and how you can use them, as well as knowing which content is best for you and your business, and some time-saving tips at the end and some content ideas from me, just to get you the boost you need to get you starting to make content if you haven't already. So who am I? Well, my name is Sophie and I own It's Digital, which is social media marketing and content creation business. I did graduate in June in Staffordshire University in 2020. Big up anybody who's from Staffs. But I did have to unfortunately get evacuated home very quickly back to Ireland. But here we are, we're all in this together. Like the way I like to imagine it is we're all in the storm, but we're all traveling on different boats at different paces. So if you take anything, take away that from today's talk. So yeah, I started this business in June while graduating, while finishing my degree. Very stressful, but also very rewarding. And It's Digital focus is on small businesses. So specifically like you guys who have perhaps established like myself over lockdown, or have just been growing and continuing over lockdown. So yeah, that's a bit about me. My little arrows aren't working, so I'm gonna have to click through here. So it's a bit weird question, but I want you to think about the new blue passport. I know this was a hot topic before the P word pandemic arrived, but I want you to think about this new blue passport that we will hopefully be getting soon once we are allowed to travel. And you're probably thinking, you know, what's this got to do with video content? But I will get there eventually, don't you worry. So why is video content so important in 2021, you ask? Well, essentially, it does keep users engaged without leaving the platform. So, you know, like TikTok, it has become addictive to be on these platforms with video content. That scrolling feature is just really addicting. And Instagram, like TikTok, want you to keep on their platform for as long as possible. So they're introducing, like Owen said, they're introducing Reels, they're introducing these different tools that you can produce this content for users so that they can stay on and essentially the apps can make money. So it also allows for new and creative ways to approach potential customers and clients. I think video content is fantastic when used correctly. It can be a great tool to get your business out there, and a lot of businesses did, I don't like the word blow up, but did become very popular over the pandemic using video content and harnessing that for their business. So I think it's fantastic. And yeah, I know Owen likes a couple of statistics, so here we go. Here's one for you, Owen. 95% of users retain better information from watching something rather than from reading it, which is 10%. I know that doesn't make 100%, but that was exactly from the article from medium.com. So if you do want to check out medium.com, they have a lot of great useful information there. But like I said, you know, everybody is on video content at the moment. It is so engaging. It is addicting, but it is very engaging for people to watch video content. And it is easier to retain information. Personally, I think I retain better information compared to reading an article and things like that. So video has become the most used type of content, surprise, surprise, beating blogging and infographics and graphics. Excuse me. That is from HubSpot. Again, fantastic platform if you want to have a look at some great information on there. And yeah, we're going to talk about short form versus long form. You're probably wondering what that was in the summary. Essentially, short form is video content that is under 60 seconds. This is makes viewers more likely to watch all the way through, and it is short, sweet, and entertaining. It is really engaging content. You know, you can see from TikTok, I think they're reaching 1 billion users or something crazy like that at the moment. So yeah, it's a fantastic form of content to use for your business. An example of these would be Instagram stories, teaser trailers, advertisements, short and snappy content to really get that user engaged. And long form content is essentially videos over 60 seconds. It is likely to form meaningful connections and networks. So you've got, for example, your YouTube. Back then, maybe 5-10 years ago, it was the big thing, and a lot of people were engaging and forming these networks on YouTube through subscriber lists and so on. And today it still is very engaging, but it is essentially, long form is essentially used to educate and inform users. And it is, type of example would be live streams and how-to videos, tutorials, things like that. So here's a little graph. It looks a little bit complicated, but I'll try to break it down for you. This is the average engagement for different lengths of video. So I hope you can see my mouse okay, but essentially at the bottom here, we've got short form content, which is just this tiny one here. And all the way down here, we've got all long form content. There's actually, I believe it is 20 minutes is 1200 seconds. So I had to look that up. But as you can see here, the yellow one, users are more likely to watch all the way through to the very end, 68% more than the likes of long form content, which is 20 minutes, which is 25% more likely to watch all the way through. So that is a big gap there between 25% and 68%. So that is why long form content is, short form content is doing so well at the moment. It's because users are more engaged the whole way through the video, not just at the beginning. You can even see here from long form content, 10% of the video, they've already lost 75% of people. So that does say something. But again, long form content is fantastic when used properly. It creates those meaningful networks and engagement. So I'm going to bring my chat box up again. I want you to answer quickly, how many ways do you think you can share video content on Instagram? So that's the different tools that Instagram have released. How many ways can you, excuse me, I keep burping, sorry. How many ways can you share content on Instagram? So 2 ways, 4, 3, got 3, 4, at least 5. Yeah. So actually, there is 5. So somebody there said 5. And I, as a social media manager, didn't even think there was 5. Thought maybe there was 3 or 4. There's actually 5 in total that you can use to really, you know, there's so many, like there's 5 out there that we can use as small businesses to get our content out there to different audiences. So the first one is IGTV. It has been around very long and it is long form content. It must be between 1 to 15 minutes long. Unfortunately, it can't be any less than 1 minute. So they're very strict about that. If it's 59 seconds, they probably won't accept it. You can upload within Instagram or using IGTV app, which is external to Instagram. It's essentially the same thing. It's just IGTV only. It allows you to watch other videos and so on, but they are essentially the same thing. Unfortunately, you do need to edit outside of both Instagram and IGTV apps if you do want to edit your video. This is a bit unfortunate because obviously if it's long form content, you do want to, you know, edit it together if there's any problems, if there's any bits that is slow, if you know, mumble over your words, things like that, just to crisp it up, and also add music and transitions and stuff. Unfortunately, you cannot do that within the IGTV on Instagram at the moment, but you can use external apps here. I've listed Viva Video, InShot, and Video Show. These ones you can use for free. However, I think they might have their trademark or their watermark on it. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I have used Viva Video before on subscription. It is quite cheap, I think, per year if you are using it more often. But if you are more advanced with video editing software, I highly suggest doing Premiere Pro or Adobe After Effects. They're great tools to use as well, and you can just immediately put that onto Instagram afterwards. We can make series on Instagram IGTV. That's just a little button here. Whenever you are saving your video, like writing your caption and so on, there is an option to save it as a series. This way you can make it easier because obviously there's a drop down option here and you can filter out what series to show and what people want to see. This is great if you are struggling with content. I find series work so well, especially, you know, even on Reels as well. Series works so well if you're struggling and you're like, oh, I don't know what to post. I have on TikTok, and I'm going to a different app here, but on TikTok, I have a series that is all about Instagram growth and engagement. And I do it in a couple of parts. And whenever I'm struggling with content, I just, you know, add on to that series, and it does really well. So that's just a little idea to do. Also, you've got your feed here, and here's your IGTV tab. I don't know what that's called, tab, I think. You have the option to save it on your feed or not. I would highly recommend putting it on your feed. That way it does reach more people. As you can see here, this was uploaded quite a while ago, but this was uploaded on my feed, and this unfortunately wasn't because I didn't. There's a little button you need to make sure you enable that to be uploaded onto your feed. So you can see a massive difference there between user engagement and actually if your video is actually being pushed out or not. So the next one is the big Reels that was introduced back in 2020, like ages ago that was. And essentially it is the short form content competitor to TikTok. It must be between 15 to 30 seconds long. You can't go, I think you can go less. I think you can go about minimum 3 seconds. But ideally the best times to keep rolling over my tongue here, but the best time, the amount of time to post is 10 to 20 seconds. I think that's the way you can keep the best engagement and your users watching it throughout. Unfortunately, at the moment, you can upload only within Instagram. If you are using IGTV, it doesn't work, I don't think, at the moment. But they do have a built-in editor. It is similar features to stories. So if you do use stories quite often, you've got your text feature with different fonts, you've got GIFs and emojis and stuff, so you can add them in, and you can add in music at the beginning. Unfortunately, they're still in the beta mode of Reels. It is quite laggy at times, especially if you have limited Wi-Fi like me. It does sort of churn away, but it is a labor of love. I think it can do very, very well when used correctly. As you can see here, I got 1,000 or so views just from posting something. Took me little to no time to make. But yes, you can add music or audio, but you can't add them together, unfortunately. Like TikTok, you can't be speaking to the camera and have music playing in the background. Unfortunately, that feature isn't available yet, but I did hear Instagram is introducing it quite soon, hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, you can use your TikTok videos as reels, but unfortunately, Instagram have a creator, I think they're called creators on Instagram. They have released the good and bad practices for reels. And unfortunately, they did mention in the bad practice, please do not recycle, in brackets, content from external apps. They basically mean don't upload TikTok into your reels. I don't think that's very fair. As a business, we're doing everything. We're juggling everything. So it's not easy to make a reel and then make a TikTok afterwards. I think the best way to do that, and a lot of people have mentioned it, a lot of big names like Social Jazz, if you know her from TikTok, she mentioned just go onto an external app to remove the watermark of TikTok. The one that I use, I think, is called TikTok Downloader. But if you just go on your app store, type in TikTok watermark, there should be quite a few coming up there. But it is really good to use if you really want to repurpose that content and get your content out to different ways. Oh yeah, sorry. Here I wrote a little prompt here. TikTok is a maximum of 6 seconds long. If you want to repurpose a TikTok into a reel, I recommend to make sure that it's less than 30 seconds so that it won't cut it off, or you'll have to do it in 2 parts. It's a lot easier just to make sure it's cut down so you don't have to worry about that. The next one is stories. We all use it on a daily basis, I'm sure. I know I do. I'm either posting or scrolling through it whenever I should be doing work, but it is short form content. Each story is 15 seconds long, and you can only post 4 consecutive stories, which is 60 seconds. I get that question, do you know how many times? You can only post 4 consecutive stories at a time because Instagram don't want you to turn stories into a long form content tool. They want to keep that for IGTV. So yes, you can only post 4 stories at a time. If you do want to talk longer, I know 60 seconds is quite a short time if you want to explain something, but you can go back and post another 4 stories if you want. With stories, it's great. It's really engaging. It's also very interactive. You can add music, GIFs, text, product tags, which is fantastic for your business, and also polls and questions. This is fantastic for getting customer feedback. I think customer is so important, not even just customer, but also your audience feedback. Your followers are your best audience for your content strategy and your marketing strategy. So ask them, what do they want to see? Do they like this? Do they like that? And I will go on to that later on, but it definitely gets some feedback from them. And share stories to your highlights. I've just circled the highlights here. This stories is unfortunately 24 hours long. It has a very short lifespan, but you can add it onto your highlights straight afterwards, you know, collate it into different categories. Here I've got reels, services, testimonials, and clients. This way, if a follower comes to me and is a potential client and want to know what services I offer, and if you're a product business, what products you have, or, you know, who your wholesale suppliers are, who, you know, there's so many different things you can do. And if you're, say, an Etsy seller, a folksy seller, and you don't have your own website, I would consider this as your like menu bar, like your menu toolbar at the very top of your website. So you've got your, you know, your about page, your shop page. I would, you know, mimic that into your highlights, because that way, whenever somebody comes onto your page, they know exactly where to go and what to go through quickly and learn more about you very, very quickly. And I keep talking about this quite a lot, but please, 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 if you can, add captions to your chatty stories. Now, whenever you're on the camera, it might be fine to just upload it, you know, simple as done. But actually, I did do a poll and get some customer and audience feedback, and most people do actually watch stories without sound, believe it or not. I'm currently living at home with my family at the moment. I don't really have much choice, but I find it a bit rude if I were to play stories out loud with my family if I were sitting in the living room. So I don't personally put sound on stories. So I do recommend adding captions as and when possible, even just little summaries of what you're talking about. This way the customer or the audience knows exactly what you're talking about. And also it's extremely more accessible to users who are, say, hard of hearing. It reaches out to them as well. And yep, we are on live. So that is both short and long form content, because you can add them as, 1 minute long or 60 minutes long at a time. I wouldn't go any more than perhaps 20 or 30 minutes. But live is a fantastic way to chat to your audience, get to know your audience, get for them to know you. It's great for Q&A. Excuse me. It's great for Q&A. It's great for sharing packaging or making processes. Like, I'm going to make this very clear with you guys. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. It's not for everybody. And if you don't want to show your face, I would highly recommend just sticking, a tripod or maybe something, a bookcase, just beside you, and putting your camera down and perhaps sharing a bird's eye view of what you're currently making, packaging and so on, without actually showing your face. So live streams are great for doing that. I would highly recommend using them if you are, doing little bits and bobs here and there and just want to switch it on. People can have a look at it. You can also save it on IGTV afterwards. This is great if, say, you're talking at a specific time that isn't accessible to everybody and people do want to see your content. So make sure that it is accessible afterwards for them to go back and view. It does help your reach. And if you do want to access live, you just go onto your stories and scroll right through and you've got your live option. Little quick tip from me. This isn't to do with live, it's just to do with content in general. If you want to know when is the best time to post, your insights are great. They're fantastic. Insights are amazing. Please use them. If you want to know exactly what time to post and when your followers are actually active, your live will tell you. So all I have to do is scroll through, right? 25 people are live or active at the moment. Fantastic. And I don't have to go live. Obviously, I can just see that quickly before posting content on, your feed or your stories or whatever. That's a great little tool, little trick for you. You can now add a fundraiser option to your live stream. That's just a little heart here. If your business is related to a charity or you're very passionate about charity, that is fantastic if you want to raise awareness about specific campaigns and so on. I haven't used it myself. I think it would be a great little tool to use. And yes, this is the fifth and final one, the one that I didn't actually know about that actually because it just passed my mind. It is in-feed video. So it is short form content because in-feed video it was only a maximum of 60 seconds. You can, which is really, really good, share a video as part of a carousel. Now, carousels are just multiple posts. You can see that here. You can have a video first and a couple of photos afterwards, or you can do a carousel of videos. It's entirely up to you. And it does give you the option for variation of video content, as you can see here. Excuse me, I keep burping. That's so rude. I've got carousels, I've got static posts, I've got in-feed video. These are all great variations of content just to spruce up your feed and get people engaged. This is, I'm going to tell you a little white lie here, this isn't actually video content. This is just animated text on Canva, and this is a GIF, and it counts as video content. But these did so well on my reach. If I went to my insights, they actually performed the best because they're on a constant loop, and people are looking at it a couple of times thinking, wait, what's going on here? They see it a couple of times, read what's going on, increases engagement. So that's a little trick from me. If you want to use that animated text on Canva and a little GIF as well. So that's all of the 5 ways that you can share content online. Now, back to the passport. Now, the passport is you, the business, and so it's from you to your customer. Your shiny passport is your video content. I want you to wave that passport around, think, look at my new blue passport. You know, make that video content to your customer. So from you, the business, to your destination, which is customer. Unfortunately, our destination isn't sunny, I don't know, Miura, but it is our customer in the digital world. And that passport is your way to get there. So you, the business, your passport is video content, and your destination is the customer. That is how you're going to reach your customer in 5 different ways. I've shared 5 different ways you can do that. So get, experimenting, trying it out. You know, video content isn't for everybody, but it's good just to give it a try, see how it goes, see which one's right for you. So, which one is right for you? That is the question. I've broken it down into 3 categories here. We've got more followers, more engagement, connections, and more website traffic. Ultimately, all 3 of those do hopefully equate to more sales. That's all we do want in the end with social media. But I've broken it down into which one is best for you. So if you do want more followers on your social media, I recommend going on to Reels and Stories. Reels is great because you can hopefully, in brackets, blow up. Hate that word. But blow up, go viral, whatever you want to call it, and reach lots of new people, lots of new demographics, and hopefully more followers that way. And stories. So if you are sharing content on stories, make sure to tag the person who made that content. If you're supporting a fellow small business, if you're supporting somebody who has just created really great content, share it, tag them, and they will share that onto their stories, and potentially their audience will see you and hopefully follow you. So there's that. Then we've got more engagement and connections. This is fantastic with long form content. So things like live and then eventually IGTV, and also stories as well can be long form. If you are, sorry, it's not long form. That's a lie. It can be great for engagement because you are getting feedback from people. You're getting opinions from people. You're asking them what they, ate for breakfast. What topping did they have on their pancakes on Pancake Tuesday? That is all part of engagement. It's part of building that connection with your audience. Like, it doesn't have to be, what do you think of this? What's your opinion on this post that I posted? What do you think of this product? It doesn't have to be about that. It can literally be what I said. What was your pancake topping? What did you have for breakfast? What drink were you drinking during your webinar? All great things to get your audience engaged and constantly going back to your stories whenever you do post. And yeah, live on IGTV, get Q&A going, ask about what they want to see and what questions you want to answer for them and so on. And website traffic can essentially be brought through in-feed video and Reels. So in-feed video could be short little teaser trailers for new products, a new collection, whatever you've got going on that you want to promote, you want to show off. In-feed video will do great for that, as it's almost like organic advertisements, as it will hopefully go onto people's feed through that way. And also Reels as well. Both of these are great because you can have calls to action. My calls to action are things like, please follow for more tips, which is what I do. Please like and follow, or click the link in bio to find out more. Sign up to our mailing list to find out more. These things are fantastic because you can get that user from your video onto where you want them to be. So that's how you do that. I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to take a sip of water here. So yeah, if you do want to know exactly what content to post, what type of content to post, ask your audience. I said this before, I'll say it again. Get feedback from your audience, your followers. What do they want to see from you? And also mix that in with what do you want to create. So a combination of the both will be a great way for you to share content. So this can be collect the data through Instagram story polls, Google Forms, live stream questions. These are all great ways to get that data and ultimately put it into your content strategy of how you want to create content that people will be engaged with and want to see. So here are my video content ideas and tips. Now, I'm going to stress it again. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to show your face. That is completely okay. It's not for everybody, but you can show each one of these. You can show parts of your business, your products, your services without showing your face. So this is behind the scenes. Behind the scenes can be your work day, the day in the life, your workspace, what you use to write in your diary. Do you do your to-do list online? Do you do it on a diary physical form? Lots of different ways. That way you can create that connection with your audience, and they'll be like, oh, I use that diary. Oh, I use the same desk as you. I've got the same, that way you've got that connection. The next one is your packaging process. Again, you don't have to show your face for this one, but your packaging process is the experience that you're going to show to your audience of what it would be like if they were to open your products. I'm going to say that again. The packaging process is the experience. You're giving them that experience of what it would be like if they were to open your products, if they were to order from you. That's essentially what the packaging process is. They do so well. My boyfriend, he owns Cozy Beard, if you want to check him out. He owns a beard company, and he posted what he does with his orders. He writes a little handwritten note with a little code, and he puts it in a little envelope and seals it with a wax seal with his logo on it. And that blew up. It was so engaging. People were like, wow, that's amazing. I love how you write down little notes for people. It's so special. It's so cool compared to your Amazon order that's just chucked in a box. So you're showing that really personal experience to people. You've also got styling your products. If you are a print business, show how it would look like on somebody's wall. If you are textiles, what would your cushion look like on a sofa with other cushions next to it? What would it look like to style your products with other different things around your house? There's so many ways you can interpret this, and I think it's fantastic to sort of show them, okay, this is what it would look like in your house. And they'll be like, oh, do you know what? That actually would work really well with my walls. That would work really well with my carpet, my sofa. That's how it works. Then you've got your making process. This is different to your packaging process. How you made your product, how you made your service even. You can show how you made digital products, but don't give too much away. Obviously, you don't want to give away your secrets. But just show little snippets, little things of how you made your items. People will be like, oh, that's actually really, wow, this person has spent a lot of time making this thing. I can see why they priced it this way. I can see why, that's how it works. You're showing them how you made it and how important it is to you. And Q&As and advice. We are all small businesses. Well, I think we are all small businesses, I'm not sure, but we are all, a business that has gone through a pandemic. We all have some value to give to people, to other small businesses that have perhaps started their business now, a week ago, or in the future. We all have value to give, and you have the right to give that advice to people. And you can do that through video content. You can do that through Q&As. You can talk about, right, well, I started my business a couple of years ago, but this is how I was affected. What about you? Get the conversation going, get the audience moving about. I think that's fantastic about really giving that advice to people who would need it. And you probably don't think that they need it, but they really do. People love hearing advice from other people. I know I do. I love seeing a little post and saving it and thinking, oh, that's fantastic. I really didn't know that. It's really good to learn more about this business and what they do. So that's a few content ideas. I hope that does help. Now, some video content do's and don'ts. Now, this isn't my personal opinion. This is just what I've been researching. It is from Instagram good and bad practices as well. So please do have a clear message to your video using titles, captions, and voiceovers. Make it clear what you are talking about in the video. Have a quick, snappy title if you're doing reel like TikTok. 2 seconds is how you engage your audience. It takes not even, I think it's 1 second. If you can catch them in 1 second, you've got them the whole way through. So make sure it's really clear, and at the end, include that CTA, include that call to action. What do you want them to do after this video? Where do you want them to go? Yeah, so make your clear message. Then also add captions as and when possible. I'm going to say it again on your reels, on your stories. I think IGTV have now, if you do upload an IGTV, this is opposed to live into IGTV. If you do that straight from IGTV onto the app, I think it has now automated captions. Don't quote me on that, but they're truly trying to push accessibility to everybody. Unfortunately, yeah, well, fortunately, actually, it's getting lighter at night. We do get more daylight, so please use that when you can. If you can't, like me at the moment, I've got a ring light. They work really well. If you obviously we're all working, so it's not easy to post during the day, but please make sure you have good lighting with your videos. And finally, with the do's, make it fun. Dance, jump around, and enjoy yourself. You really want to make sure that you are showing how much you enjoy yourself, because if you're creating content for the sake of content, it will show. So really just enjoy yourself, because if you're not, then you'll not want to do it more. You'll not be motivated to do it anymore. So some quick don'ts, not too many, but this was also from the bad practices of Instagram. Please don't make your video blurry. This comes into the lighting part. Make sure you have good lighting. Excuse me. Make sure you have good lighting, and hopefully your video won't be too blurry. We all have quite good phones. I think our phones are developing into almost DSLR cameras. So please make sure you don't make your video blurry, and make it clear to what you're doing. Don't overpower your video with transitions. Although transitions are really fancy, they're really nice. Too many of them can be a little bit too flashy, a little bit inaccessible to people because of that flashy, it might be off-putting for some people. So try not to do that. Try not to recycle from other apps. Oh, roll my eyes. Annoying as that sounds, try not to recycle apps. And when you can, just copy the link on an external app and remove that watermark. They did mention that they're trying to push TikTok watermark reels as much. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but apparently that's what they're working on. So please make sure you can do that to be reaching out to many people as possible. Don't include too much text over your images. Now this is a bit of funny, or videos even. This is a funny one because I do that myself actually, but try not to have too much text so that people don't actually know who's behind the video or what actually the video is about. If you're doing like funny transitions, if you're posting, like pointing your finger at different places, that's great. But make sure there's not too much going on. You can obviously resize the text to help that. So here's my time-saving tip method. It's not my method, I just found it online somewhere. But it is 1 blog post, 5 pieces of content. So your 1 blog post, say it is how you made a new product. Your first way to do it into content is to repurpose it, is create a reel and or TikTok. So TikTok, save it onto reels and vice versa. Show a quick step-by-step of how you made the product, have, text and music and so on. How you made this new product that you had in your blog post. You can obviously copy the titles and so on from that. Take a picture of your process and post it as a static post on Instagram. That way it's another form of content. Also go live and talk about your process and answer any questions. You can go into your process in more detail. You can also share your new product as a launch sort of thing, and get people excited. And also save live as an IGTV afterwards to watch again. And finally, use your static post or your video content and share it onto all these different platforms, because Facebook, I know, is very good with video content. They do like video content. So just start spreading it out. Don't obviously spread yourself out too thin, but obviously repurposing that content. You might find that Pinterest or LinkedIn might pick it up pretty well and think, oh, actually, maybe I should start exploring into that. So those are my tips for time saving. We all don't have, much time. There's homeschooling going on. There's so much going on at the moment. But if you can start repurposing your content into clever ways, that can really save you a lot of time. And yeah, finally, have fun. That is essentially how video content happens. Just have fun. And if you're sharing advice, make sure that you're being clear. But again, whenever you're doing content, just enjoy it, because you want to make sure that you do fall in love with it, even though it is labor of love. But you do want to end up enjoying it and wanting to make more content, wanting to make more video content in general. So yes, that's all from me. But before I go into Q&A, I'm going to quickly, if you do have any questions, you can put them in the chat box now and I can happily answer them for you. I wanted to just quickly talk about wireless waves. So my good friend Hannah, I'm not actually sure if she's on the Zoom call at the moment, but myself and Hannah, Wireless PR, we have collaborated together to make you wireless waves. This is an online platform for small businesses, specifically businesses like us who have established or grown over lockdown. And we'll be including things like online self-paced courses, small business podcasts. I'm so used to saying content. Small business podcasts all about our do's and don'ts and little tricks and hacks. We'll also have marketing, social media marketing, PR and podcasting tips for your business. And we will be launching in June of 2021. I think we're launching our social media a little bit before that. But if you do want to get in touch with that, if you want to stay in the loop, I'm going to put a little link to our sign-up sheet for our email list. We would really appreciate it if you want to be part of that, just to sign up and be kept in the loop with all our updates and so on. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope I didn't bore you too much. I might have to have a cup of tea or a glass of gin after this, but I hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope it was useful. And if you did enjoy it, please take a picture of the Zoom call, share it on Instagram. I'd love to connect with you guys, and make sure to tag me as well. I won't see it on story. Yeah, that's all for me. I'm gonna open for Q&A, and these are where to find me. If you want to ask me questions that you didn't think about during the Zoom call, I'm happy to answer them on any of these platforms. You've got lots of choice here, but specifically Instagram, if you want to contact me there, or just shoot me an email. I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to chat with you and get to know you. Thank you.
Sophie, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for going through that with us today.
You're very welcome.
I'm sure we've all learned so much. I've been keeping my eye on the questions. So can I just ask you a few that the floor have asked? Okay, so Emma has asked, can you explain how to use animated text on Canva? Is it available on the free version?
No, unfortunately, from what I recall, I haven't had the free version for a while, but I did buy the paid version. I think that unfortunately you do have to pay for animated text. It is only £100 for the year. I know that does sound a lot, but it is so useful. I find Canva so incredible with the amount that you can do with Pro, and it's definitely worth it. So I don't think you can do it, but if you can check, because I haven't had the free version for a while, you can check, click on your text or click on your post, on your Instagram post on Canva, and there might be a little bit of an animate option in the top corner. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think it is a Pro version, sorry.
Thank you. Right, Fiona has asked, what do you mean by carousel?
Yes, so a carousel is the fancy version of just multiple photos in one post. So whenever you want to post like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can go up to 10 posts that are photos or videos at a time. And then you can just swipe through that. That's just what it's called, a carousel. Hope that means it well. It's just how you can scroll through your videos, multiple videos at once.
Essentially, it's like when we do our fairs and we have the stall set up with 10 slides, yeah? 10 slides in a post.
Slides, yeah. Slides is the best way to use it. It's just to scroll through and see lots of different content. You can do 10 posts or 10 photos or videos at once, which is fantastic.
Perfect. Right, Deborah has asked, what are Google Forms? So
Google Forms is essentially a virtual form where you can fill in different things. I'm currently hiring for a role, a marketing role. So I've asked my candidate to fill in their information and so on, but you don't have to do that, obviously. But what you can do is get a little box thing going on where you can say, do you use Google Forms is free, by the way. You can do it on your your Gmail account. It's a bit like the slides, Google Slides and Google Word, I think it's called. But it's a great way to collect information. You can see all the responses together as like a little pie chart and stuff. You can, excuse me, you can see lots of graph information for that. It's just to get a little bit more of an in-depth opinion from people. You can ask them questions. You can get a long response or short response as well. So if you want to ask your users that if they could fill in the fill in the form, you can save it as a link and add it to your link tree or your link in bio.
Awesome. We use Google Forms a lot when we're doing the, collecting info for the fairs. So yeah, it works absolutely great. Yeah, and then you can link it to a spreadsheet just by clicking one button, and then you can see all the data there in that spreadsheet.
Yeah,
really easy.
I love data. I know you love data as well.
I love a statistic.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. So we've got Mandy. Mandy's asked, would you recommend starting off by making simple videos from still product photos using apps like iMovies?
Yeah, I would recommend doing that. Although I do, sorry, is it Mandy, I think?
Yeah, Mandy.
I do recommend, Mandy, that apparently with the new Reels good and bad practices, they did mention if you go at creators, you'll find this information on their Instagram account, but they did mention in the bad practices that if you have a border around your video, now I don't know what they mean about that, but apparently if you have a border around your video, try not to do that. Make sure the image is fully spread out if you can. Do a little slideshow, have a little bit of music in the background, and maybe have a little bit of captions to say what's going on, what products are you launching. Yeah, I think definitely start off small and then start, learn about it, start to practice with it. Reels can be a bit funny because it is beta at the moment. It is still in the first process of it. So it can be a bit funny to learn. It can glitch out. It can, like I said, it is a labor of love. So you do have to practice with it and just go for it. I think just start small and grow, because everybody does start somewhere. I mean, my first reel was a disaster because the text went everywhere when I didn't want it to. So yeah, start small and grow from there.
Thank you. Henry has asked, where can I find tutorials on how to use Reels?
So there's quite a lot of tutorials. If you want to check out, I recommend Vix Meldrew on Instagram. She's at Grow with Vix, and also her business partner is called Alice Benham. Now these two ladies are fantastic on all things Instagram. They also have their own account called 30-day Reels thing. It's all one word, 30-day Reels thing, as their username on Instagram. And they go through a lot of content ideas, how-to videos as well. If you want to check out how-to videos, you can do that through YouTube as well. But a lot of how-to videos are on Instagram itself. So recommend checking them out if you can. Yeah, they're fantastic. They do have a course as well, so they are doing all about Reels. So if you want to, I think it's 27 quid. So excuse me, not too much, but still quite good to learn.
Okay, Deborah's asked another question. Is it advisable to have two cameras, at least to have different perspectives of your making process?
Yeah, 100%. If you can get different angles and different variations and edit them together, like a YouTube video. I know a lot of YouTubers have one camera at one side of their face and one camera at the other, and talking to just one camera, or they're just focusing on one, and editing them together in sync and having audio or sound in the background. That is fantastic. I highly recommend doing that if you have the chance to do that.
Okay, Charlotte's asked, are there copyright issues to using music in Reels?
So that is an issue if you are a business account. Now, unfortunately, business accounts don't allow you to use mainstream music. They do allow you to use royalty-free music on Reels. It's not great, but it is still good because you can still have music in the background. But if you can, go outside of the app on the likes of TikTok, or if you are a creator, if you're a creator account on Instagram, you can use mainstream music. It shouldn't be a problem because it is, just how you said, public domain. I think you can have music playing because you're making it clear that you're not owning it. You're just promoting your business with music in the background. As long as you do make that clear, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, Maria's asked. This has been great. Thank you, Sophie.
You're very welcome.
I've been having a problem recently with my Reels. Whenever I try and upload an image from my gallery for the cover image, once posted, it is published with just the first frame of the video instead. It's happened on my last 3 Reels now.
Yeah, so it's happened to me on my last Reel, promoting this webinar. Frustratingly, I had made a lovely little graphic as well, and I know it's so frustrating. Like I said, it is in the beta moment. So if you can, try to wait it out a little bit just to see, maybe create a practice one to see if it works again. Because I do know that it's happened to me as well. Unfortunately, it take a matter of time for it to be fixed again. It has happened before where text, the background of text is away from the actual font, from the actual text. So, but they did fix that quite quickly. So they do jump on to problems and glitches quite quickly. What I would do is just add it as a little response, like a little feedback form on Instagram. You can do that by going to your 3 bars at the top corner of your account and then to your settings. And then if you do help or maybe report, it's help and then report a problem, you can let Instagram know, look, this isn't working out, can you please fix it? And they do jump onto it quite quickly.
Okay, that's great. Jojo has asked, thanks Sophie again, any tips on the best way to learn how to do Reels?
The best way to learn, like I said, 30-day Reels thing is great because it gives you ways to create the content and also how to do that. I would create transitions, learn how to do different transitions. I will be posting more content on this because I know that people have been asking about how to do different things. I did mention about like ways that you can batch content as well, how you can sort of take Reels and you can save them as drafts. So if you don't want to post them straight away, you can save it as a draft and go back to it. But yeah, I would just have a play around, save it as a draft. You don't have to post it. Then that way you can have a look through, see what worked, what didn't work, and that way it can great practice. And if you're really not liking Reels, because I know it is quite frustrating to work with, try TikTok first. Make a couple of drafts works as well with TikTok. Save them as drafts, and maybe try to just do the TikTok into the Reels and do it that way, and then start to go into Reels. That way you can be practicing. And just looking at other people's content. What are they posting? What transitions are they using? What music are they using? Is a great way to learn and just echo off other people. Obviously, repurpose it to your content. Don't copy.
I'd echo that. I think you've just got to kind of, I always say crack a few eggs, yeah? No one's going to get it right first time.
Exactly.
You've just got to have a play around with it and then see what works and what doesn't. Essentially, all it is a video that you post in the real area of Instagram.
Yeah, that is essentially it. And there's going to be some good Reels, there's going to be some bad Reels.
Yeah.
But again, like I say, have to crack a few eggs. It's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Social media definitely not perfect. And you just have to learn with it and practice.
Yeah. And it is a new thing on Instagram, so everyone's learning it.
Exactly, it is beta, and they probably won't release the best version until about a year's time with how things work and practicing and stuff.
Ellen says, thank you. I'd love to share this. Did you say it's okay to post a screenshot and tag you in Handmade Hour? Well, you can always tag us anytime and we'll share.
Yep, please do. I'd love to connect with you. If I can if you can share in stories and tag us, I would love to connect. And yeah, sorry, I was supposed to put the link in for put that in now. This is the link for the sign up sheet if you want to be part of the loop that we're releasing in June. But yeah.
And Charlotte's also asked, could you type the names that you just mentioned, please?
Yeah.
So going. So I think it was the people who, the ladies who you said were fantastic.
Yeah. So it's Alice_Benham, and then we've got Grow. She's changed her username, so it's Grow with Vix. They are fantastic ladies who really focus on reels.
So was that the 30-day reels?
Yeah. So they both. So I'll show you there. I'll just tag their separate accounts, but also I'll tag the 30-day reels thing. Sorry, reels thing. Slip there. 30-day reels thing. Hopefully.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And Louisa said that she's had posts taken down using TikTok. So there you go, folks. It's already started.
Yeah. So there's no problem from just going to an external app and removing the watermark. It is essentially your content. You did make it. And people like Social Jazz. She grew on TikTok specifically and puts her TikToks into Reels because she said she has no time to do it, and nobody does, in all honesty. So she is called Social Jazz, and talks about just go into copy the link off your video on TikTok, post it on an external app, and it will download it without the watermark.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Can you repeat, please, the best video editing apps on iPhone?
Okay, so I'm Android, so I've mentioned a couple of apps there that I have used with Android, but it was Viva Video, InShot, and also, what was that? Just scrolling up here, sorry.
I use one called Movavi, which I've basically bought a lifetime license. I think it was $24.99, but that's it. So I can use that forever. And it's really easy, straightforward, and I think it's a really good kind of beginner app to just get used to. There's a free version. Play around with the free version, and then when you're ready to jump in, pay for it and get the watermark taken off. I always think it looks more professional without watermarks on. So, for the sake of a couple of pounds, normally you can normally do that with a lot of these apps, I think.
Yeah, and if you're using it on a weekly or monthly basis, you might as well go for it, because if you're not familiar with other apps like big apps such as Adobe software, it's not realistic to take your video out and put it into Adobe. I know a lot of creators do that, but they have a lot of time on their hands. But in-app video editing software is fantastic. It's really simple, really quick to use, and easy to navigate around, and easy to learn as well, which is important. Okay,
Christian has asked, he's seen a few companies using animated characters to speak on their behalf, like a mascot. Have you ever tried or seen anything like that?
So that is the rise of AI. From what I believe, what you're talking about is AI filters. Now, I am an AI graduate. I studied CGI and visual effects, so I know everything about this. This is an AI filter that they have started to develop that can be put into your phone. It can be put into different software, and that way, like you said, you can talk and then a character can be speaking, which is great. It's going to be on the rise this year. I went to a couple of conferences for marketing, and a lot of them did say, beware of AI. As scary as that sounds, trying to make it too scary, but AI is on the rise, and they're trying to use different software. Like I don't have an iPhone, but if you have the iPhone, it has a little emoji animation thing that you can put your face on. Quite fun. It's in a bigger form than that, and it will be more prevalent and hopefully accessible to us, because that'd be quite cool.